Amen. So spring's coming. We're getting the coop ready for the new chickens, the new chicks. Which everything in the springtime means hauling. Usually poop. But you got to haul something. We just cleaned out all the manure from the last several years. I think that was 5 wheelbarrow loads full, and we hauled that down to Mariah's kitchen garden. And now I brought up 3 wheelbarrow fulls full of some wood chips that are a little more decomposed than I would have liked, just to put in front of the coop and knock down some of the mud. And then we're going to fill it with sawdust next, the floor with the sawdust. In years past we've done hay, but the sawdust seems to do a lot better. And we have a ton of sawdust just because of the sawmill. The coop is kind of, to me, is interesting, and we'll see how much of this we can show you. I didn't warn Mariah beforehand that we might be doing a moving shot. I think, and Mariah will correct me if I'm wrong, I think this coop was probably the first thing we built when we moved out here. I can't think of anything else we did first.
Yeah, it was the first.
That was the first thing. We may have cleaned up a little bit, but the coop was pretty much the first thing we built. And the coop really represents my transition into what I would probably refer to as homesteading. If you look at it, can you zoom over there on that thing? It looks like it's pretty standard construction, and it was. I built it with pressure treated lumber in a pretty standard way. I bought tin to do it, and really got the chicken wire, and you can't see all of it, but everything's wrapped in chicken wire. There's just no way into that thing, I thought. And I think I got $650, $700 into it, and was going to leave it. And some dog clawed his way through it the first week, just clawed his way right through all that chicken wire. So I had to put up the OSB. So I put up that OSB on the outside. And this was all 5-6 years ago. Probably 6 years ago.
7, maybe.
Maybe 7 years ago. I don't always do things thoroughly, and I did this thoroughly. I dug footers and the whole 9 yards. I didn't want our chickens to be... This was our first foray into homesteading. And as soon as I put that OSB up, something of them started climbing up the OSB and clawing through the chicken wire again. Something like probably a raccoon, maybe a possum. We had a lot of possums out here back then. And I just kind of had a mini meltdown. I had $700 in this stupid thing, and it still wasn't keeping anything out. So I went and cut, you could probably see them on the corners on the sides here. I went and cut all these sweet gum poles and just nailed them. I didn't know what else to do. And I think I was going to put a lot more of them. But for whatever reason, nailing, I don't know if it's like a 3D effect or something, but once I nailed those sweet gum poles up on the outside, nothing has ever tried to get in there ever again. We've never had a problem with anything trying to get into that coop once I put those poles up on the outside. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. They're not on the front. They could still have climbed up the front and clawed through that way, but whatever it was, those sweet gum poles solved it. So after that, I kind of had this epiphany. I'm like, why? I'm not stop doing things their way. I'm going to start doing things my way. My way frequently doesn't work, but their way frequently doesn't work either. So now I just save a bunch of money, and it still doesn't work, but at least I'm not out the money, right? We've never been able to get the chickens to work well, though. So we've always done the tractor supply chicks, and then we tried to hatch a bunch of our own, and I wouldn't be shocked if we haven't had 250 chicks out here over the course of the last 6 or 7 years. And you can see what we're down to now. 2 hens, and only one of those lays, and she's intermittent. So we have never been very productive with the chickens. So this year we said, forget it, we're going to do it their way. We spent the money. We've ordered chicks from a reputable hatchery. We got sexed. Straight run is when they could be either male or female, I think. Oh, I don't remember. We got all female. Right. What's that?
That was right, yeah.
We got all female. We got a hybrid red sex link variety called Novagen. Seemed to have some good reviews online. We'll see. So we're going to start over and just see if we can't make these chickens worthwhile. We'll see. It cost us $77, and they'll be here in about a month. and hopefully by then we'll have I'll have the coop mostly ready to go today. I'll haul all that sawdust in there and spread it out. I got to come up with a better nesting box solution. The ones we have was a design I got offline, but they've never laid in there. Like occasionally, they'd much rather lay in the muck somewhere. So we will have to come up with a solution to that. And I need to we're getting 25 of them. Hopefully we'll have a bunch survive, so I'll need more roost. I've got a homemade roost system in there too with just poles set up. The idea was to try to keep raccoons and possums from being able to climb up there into the roost with them. Nothing ever has, but I'm pretty sure they could if they wanted to. Of course, all that was before we had the dog, and since we've had the dog, nothing moves on this place now. But he's spending more time tied up and inside than he used to. So I don't know what the future might hold. But we do at night, like after, say, 10 o'clock, we'll let him out to roam or to patrol because he stays real close to home at night. So hopefully we still won't have anything up here messing with us. But there we go. We're going to get the chicks back in here. We're going to try to finally get egg production up. There was a time, I guess, when we got decent egg production. But I don't know how many chickens we had. But I think there was a time when we were getting 5, 6, 7 eggs a day. I'm looking at my bride to see if she's going to nod in assent or tell me that my memory is off. But again, I don't remember how many chickens we had at that point. I mean, we may have had... I think there was a point where we had close to 50... Well, when we had the meat chickens, we had 60 meat chickens plus whatever we had in here, probably about 15, 17 birds, supposedly egg-laying birds. They were not egg-laying birds. They were mostly just, food holes. But I know we've had close to 75 chickens at a time. So, but it's never been worth it so far, and we got to make it worth it. We're going to try something new this year too. We're going to try to plant stuff along this fence and let it grow up the fence. We're going to try a bunch of different stuff. Maybe some climbing beans, some climbing peas. We might even put some squash. We might plant some sweet potatoes out here and let the vines grow up the fence, provide some shade for the birds, maybe bring some bugs in for them. Maybe help us manage those sweet potato vines because those damn things go everywhere. But anywho, so that's it as far as this goes. We'd been putting hay down in the chicken coop, and we would put down huge amounts occasionally, but then wouldn't layer it like we were supposed to. And then I started putting some sawdust down in there. And when we just did the hay, cleaning it out was awful. It wasn't decomposing in there. It was all wet and yucky and mucky, and there were just, millions and millions of fire ants in them. This time wasn't bad at all. I don't know if the difference was the sawdust, but it cleaned out real easy. There was no ants in there. It wasn't a disgusting mess. The sawdust and the chicken manure seemed to go together real well. And it was really good stuff. Like I said, there was 5 wheelbarrow fulls of it, and I think I pulled another wheelbarrow full off from just in front of here, just cleaning up in front, and hauled it down to the kitchen garden, like I said. And we should have good asparagus and strawberries this year. I think that's all we're going to plant down there. All right, so there it is with the sawdust in it. That's two wheelbarrow fulls. I'm going to pull in one more wheelbarrow, and you can't really see it, but the nesting boxes are over here, and we'll put some sawdust in there. But I don't think the chickens like laying in the sawdust. And then I'll probably throw some up on these shelves. Although, I might just pull those shelves out of here. I don't know at this point. I'll probably put sawdust on them for now, though. No, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to wait and try to figure out what I'm going to do with them. So, yeah, we're going to get one more load of sawdust in here. This is good stuff. There's cedar mixed in there with all kinds of pine and hardwood. And once they poop on top of it, and then we'll get we'll keep a layer of sawdust on it every maybe once a month or so, put another layer of sawdust on top of it. And when we clean it out next year, this will be some grade A compost.